Well, hello. Summer's come at last, so we thought we needed some shade out in the back garden on the patio because the garden is south facing. So we thought we'd get one of these Primrose awnings. It's an XL model. It's 3 meters wide and actually comes out 4 meters. So we're hoping that will give a substantial amount of shade. It's a half cassette model. It came in this box. It's electric, as you can see, and all the extras come in here as well, which we ordered some extras. So I think what we'll do is put the box away in the garage, and then I'll show you some of the process of putting the awning up, because it's you know, you need some tools and you need some measurements. So hopefully, if I can show you some of those details, it will give you confidence to perhaps consider getting one of your own. So here comes the shade. So we'll get going, and I'll take this box into the garage. So one of the extras are these support poles. You get some little brackets to put on the front bar, and then you simply screw it into the top bracket like so, and then click the bottom into the base. So you do that either side and click it into the base like that. So it makes the awning much more firm. That's quite solid if you get a little bit of breeze. So to show you what I did with the base, leave that there for a minute. They come with these white brackets, and because you can stop the awning at any distance from the wall, it needn't come out 4 meters, it can be sort of 3 meters or 2.5, and you only get one set of these white base plates. I just screwed it onto this cast iron old wheel that I sort of picked up at a car boot some years ago, and so I can move the bases around to how far the awning comes out. So basically you just put that down there and just give it a click and everything is secure. This shows the top bracket that the pole goes into. It does hinge sort of backwards and forwards, so that's why I had to lower the angle of the awning, because I couldn't reach the top bracket to screw it in. And then I marked them with tape, black this side, green the other, so I know which pole, because I leave it adjusted to the right length. It goes into this slot here, and the valance goes into the slot in the front. In the instructions it did say you had to take the valance off to put that bracket in, but this one's got 2 channels, so you can use both on this particular model. You can see the hinged arms that go on here as well, and this is an actual limiter which when the awning retracts, it stops it going back too far. Also on the front you have this spirit level, which when the awning's out you can check if it's level, because that's important, because when it winds back you want it to wind back straight. So one of the first things to do is decide where it needs to be positioned on the wall. I then marked the left hand side on the wall with a pencil mark, so I could start to work out where the brackets would go. So these brackets need to be between 2.5 and 3.5 meters above the ground. and also 20 centimeters above the door frame. So from the edge of the awning, I measured in how far it was for the first bracket to be, which there's a red mark on the back of this bar to show where approximately where the bracket should go, and there's also a red mark on that side to show where that one should be, which has got to be spaced out either side of this hinge for the arms. So there's 4 brackets supplied with this kit, and they supplied the bolts, which need 14mm holes drilled. Started off with a drill 7mm and then went up to a 10, and then ended up with the 14mm drill on the DeWalt battery drill, which did very well actually. They have to be 100mm deep, so I marked the drill with some tape, but it's about the depth of the brick. So the roll plugs that's supplied as well have to be drilled into the brick, not the mortar. So, and the side of the brick, about a third of the way in, is about the strongest part of the brick. So it stretches down between the top bolt in one brick and the bottom bolt in the brick below, so that worked out very well. Once the 10mm holes were drilled, I pushed the roll plugs fully in, because the thread of these high tent style bolts has a clear shaft for so far, and so I wanted to use the thread on the bolt to go all the way into the roll plug to give as much stability as possible. So then to screw the bolts in, use a 19mm socket on both of them. You can reach the top one as well, so they can be nice and tight. And then the next job is to put the bracket on the far end and make sure that's level, so we'll have a look at that next. So we're looking along at the right hand side of the awning now, and this outer bracket, which again you have to measure the distance across to get where the red mark is on the back of here. To make sure it was level, I tied a bit of string from the other bracket on the top to this one and checked it with the spirit level. That seemed to confirm that if you look up on the top, the actual bricks, luckily, are pretty straight as regards the level, so that all matches up very nicely. So when I had the outer brackets in place, I then used the string that was across and level to position the inner brackets, the other side of the hinge. To adjust the level of the front bar, or to adjust the angle, which I did, as I said, so I could reach the connections for the poles, you loosen these 2 bolts, which are the same 19mm, and then unscrew this one very slightly with a 16mm to adjust the level. You've got to loosen these bolts on both sides so that it just changes nice and smoothly, and then once that's done, tighten them up again. These also, these bolts here just slip in from underneath to hold the back bar in place when it's put up. We had the XL model because it comes out 4 meters to make sure we had enough shade on the patio. And as you can see, it does give the patio's well, old money, over 9 foot wide, so you can see the base of the support pole and actually where the shade comes. So that's done the trick really. This is for the manual crank if the electric failed. Also, the electric motor is in here, and it's pre-wired with this wire that comes out to fix to the receiver. Also, you've got this Allen key type implement supplied, which actually fits in to these small Allen key holes to adjust how far the awning goes out and where it stops on the way back. You've got the 2 adjustment screws there and there. So the electric model comes with these zappers. There's 2 of them, so you've got you know, in and out and stop, so that makes life very easy. Also, the motor is pre-wired with a length of wire which then goes to the receiver, which you have to buy separately a waterproof box to protect it from the elements, and then another piece of wire is supplied, which fortunately I had an outside socket close by which it reached without any problem. I had to buy these clips as well to secure it to the wall. I'm not very good with these clips, and I like them to go in the brick because it seemed to give a straighter line. So basically I use this 5mm masonry drill to put a little hole in, put a couple of matchsticks in, and then tap the masonry nail in the clip into that. It seemed to be more reliable to get a neat job. So the process of putting the awning up is first read the instructions and get yourself accustomed to the parts that come in the box. But for one person then, one can put the 4 brackets up on the wall, horizontal. That's a one-man job. And then to actually lift the awning into place on those brackets, I got my son-in-law and his brother to help, 2 step ladders either side, and then I stood in the middle and guided them to get it in the right position on the brackets, the back bar, and then put those retaining bolts in to hold the bar in place. And when all bolts were tidied up, then you were back to a one-man job then really to do the electrics. So all in all, you know, it did take it wasn't just an afternoon. I did spread it over a few days, but very successful. We're very pleased with it. And so now we'll have a look at the awning retracting and see how the arms do, missing the top of the doors. The arms are at 2 different heights here. That's how it should be. And then we've got both the patio doors open, because this was one of my concerns, is would the arms miss the doors well enough as it retracted. So there seems quite a bit of space there, doesn't it? So That's very encouraging. Good foot or so above the doors, even when I changed the angles from the factory settings. Of course, factory settings are in ideal conditions, and there needs to be some adjustment, and then it automatically stops there. So the awning automatically stops with about 2 inches of the canvas still hanging out of the half cassette, but manually, come the winter, you can certainly wind it in with the manual winder so that it's more fully protected by the half cassette. Also, one can take off the valance as well for winter storage to save it fading.
Hi. As we've got older, my husband and I have found we need more shade, and the parasol just wasn't doing it for us. So we invested in this awning, and we're really, really pleased with it. So something we would certainly recommend.
So I hope you've enjoyed this video. We're certainly enjoying the summer now, and Carol and myself wish you a very happy summer, and hope you'll join me on future videos. So bye for now.